Hey, Cailen Ascher here, founder of Calm Biz, and you've probably heard me or someone else say at this point that having a niche for your yoga business is a really good idea. Now, the reason that I say that and a lot of other yoga business mentors say that is because when you have a niche, your marketing improves, your teaching really takes off, you can get a lot more focused in on what you are supposed to be teaching. Teaching gets a lot more fun because ideally your niche is something that you really love, and it draws more of the right students into you. But then, on the other hand, it's never a good idea to have a niche just for the sake of having a niche. That's kind of putting the cart before the horse. We really want to find a niche that is an authentic extension of who you are and capitalizes on your strengths as a teacher. But then you kind of get into this sticky situation of you want to have a niche, but you feel like you're not sure what it is, so you want to test it out. And we kind of can go in circles because we keep looking inside ourselves to find what that niche should be, but sometimes we're just too close. We can't be objective. We can't see the forest for the trees. And in those moments, sometimes it's really nice to look outward and get some feedback from the world around you to gain some clarity about your strengths as a teacher, because then your strengths can be translated into a niche or an area of expertise that will, like I said, strengthen everything about you as a teacher, your marketing, your business, your connection with your students. So my number one tip for helping you draw the right students into your niche classes is to talk to your students. If you are looking to really find your voice as a teacher, to find your niche, your calling, there's a lot of different names. I'm calling it a niche today, but there could be your dharma, right? We label it a bunch of different things. But you really want to get feedback from your students because they're going to be able to give you real insight into you as a teacher. So ask them what they enjoy learning most from you, what classes or themes really light them up, and when they feel like you are in your element as a teacher. Also ask them about issues and problems and concerns that they have with their yoga practice or with their bodies. You might find that they love when you teach about safety of the knees because a lot of them have knee issues because you teach middle-aged people in your classes. And then you might realize that focusing on safety in yoga and working with your body and not against it and within your limits is a really beautiful thing you can start to flesh out into a niche. And you might even want to ask them, and this can be a little uncomfortable, what they think your top 3 or 5 strengths are as a teacher. This really gives you a window into your strengths without having any kind of caveats or preconceived notions or storylines that you might bring to the table. And you might be really interested that what you perceive as shyness on your part, they might see as this beautiful quietude of you as a teacher, that you are still and calm, or something that you might think that you're too chatty. They might really love that you explain the nuances of every single pose so that they can really feel it in their body. Things that you might see as flaws or negative might be the very things your students love the most, and talking to them is the only way to flesh those things out. Ask them for their questions. Encourage them to bring questions into class. Maybe not during the physical asana process itself, because that can be a little distracting for other students, but definitely before or after class. Always encourage them to be open to talk to you about what's going on in their bodies. Get their feedback about your teaching. And once you do, you're going to be able to start to carve out your path as a teacher. What sets you apart from the teacher across the hall or down the street? Because there's something that you are offering already in your classes that is setting you apart, and your students are the best way to find that. So always encourage them to talk to you, to be open about the experience they have with you as a teacher, and really mind through that. And it can be an in-person conversation. It could be a survey that you pass out at the end or beginning of class. You could send out an email if you have an email list. You could even give a couple of them a phone call and do maybe a 5-10 minute little bit of an interview to really hone in on your strengths as a teacher. Because like I said, those strengths can then be translated into a niche so that you start pulling more of those right students into your classes, into your workshops, and building a solid community instead of kind of being haphazard and all over the place and teaching a restorative class and a vinyasa class and a Ashtanga class and a hot yoga class. That's great to get your feet wet, especially if you're a new teacher. But if you've been teaching for a while and really want to start pulling in to your area of genius, this is a great way to do it. Talk to the students who show up each and every week. Ask them what they love about you and your classes. I know that's not the easiest thing to do, but the clarity that it will give you about where to move forward with your business is truly invaluable. So as always, I thank you for joining me, and for more business and marketing tips just for yogic entrepreneurs, head on over to calmbiz.com and I will see you there.